Hey everybody, good news, bad news. What's the good news or the bad news? Welcome to the show, everybody. And things are getting exciting. Things are getting exciting. We have the good news is Monster has decided to discontinue the red flavor. I still have a few in stock, but from what I understand, they're going to stop making the red flavor. So hey, I guess it'll quit being a factor in the market going down. Yeah, I guess good news, bad news, Bad news, I kind of like that flavor, but, it is what it is what it is. And, yeah. So we got channel member Rob, channel member Don, channel member Logan, Goose Dan, Sergio, Donald, Rex, Rongamer, Spinborn, General Rush, good to see you, Sledge, Frank, Darren, Skaggs, good to see you, Ted, Bob. I'm glad everybody's here. And if you want to chat with me and everybody else on the live stream, just click the button over here and down in the corner. Be a subscriber on the channel, and you can chat. We have consumer household debt approaching $18 trillion. I mean, holy moly. I don't even have a chart for this. It was just an article on the Fed website, New York Fed. I can pull it up, pull it over, I guess. It's just, Federal Reserve Bank of New York right here. And right here, I'm sure nobody reads this stuff, right? Like none of y'all. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that right there. Where'd it go? Clear that off. Look at these numbers. Absolute insanity. We rose 147 billion in Q3 to 17.94 trillion dollars. Holy fudge muffins. No wonder we don't care about a $36 trillion national debt, right? That's just double the household debt. Huh? Debt? Man, I got debt. Whatever. I mean, think about that a minute. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, go to the debt clock, the this thing we've pulled up before. You look at this. This is just exploding higher, right? I mean, just absolute craziness numbers here. Just crazy numbers. And we look at the federal debt right here. Look. Debt per citizen, 106,000. That means think about that a minute. 36,000, I mean 36 trillion. 36,000. 36 trillion. That's double the household. So personal household debt, every citizen has about $50,000 in debt on average. Personal debt, household debt. That's not even national public debt. That blows my mind when I read that number last night. Let me know what you think in the chat. I mean, think about that. Every man, woman, child, infant, old person, $50,000 in debt per citizen. Just to put it in, kind of simple numbers. I mean, dang. That's just I don't mean I'm certainly not sitting on that kind of debt for my family. I don't know about you. You can let me know in the chat or let me know in Discord later, if you're carrying that kind of debt load. But I mean, it's counting mortgages and stuff like that. But I bought within my means. I still owe mortgage, and I recently obtained a car under the Tesla financing deal, and I'm carrying some of that price on debt. But that together, it's not even making a dent when you spread that across the 4 people that live in my house. My daughter lives next door, so I'm not counting her. But certainly not anywhere close to 50,000 per person. Nobody carries student loan debt in my house. Got that all paid off. So I don't know. $18 trillion. That's mind-boggling, as Will Ferrell says. You know, bottles your thoughts all up, man. Yeah, I know it's boggling, but if you've seen Blades of Glory, mind-boggling, just bottles all your thoughts up. Anyway, all right, craziness, absolute craziness. So, yeah, David, you owe $400,000 on your mortgage. It's about 10 times more than I do. All right. Can't see my screen, but that's, yeah, there wasn't much to see. There wasn't much to see, so we can, I mean, right there. That's it. That's it. And what do you want to see? That was it. That's all I showed right there. The debt clock sitting at 36 trillion per person, for the whole public debt. And that's 100,000 per person. So there you go. I mean, that's all I had up right here. That's it. That's all I had. And Bob, that's the best way to roll. That's the best way to roll. No debt. Finance it yourself. And like I said, I bought my house during a period years ago. My house payment was $300 a month when I bought it. I bought the adjacent property and rolled that in together, and my payment is still. It's funny, whatever it is, 20 years later, and I still haven't quite paid it off, but we're getting there. It's such a low requirement to pay, and it's like 3% financing, so it makes more sense to use the money to make more money and keep paying that off. But we were paying it down, and the Tesla financing was smoking hot deal to take it delivered by the end of Q3, so jumped on that, and that's close to half paid off. Anyway, I mean, I pay it down. I mean, your cash flow explodes once you don't have to pay payments. I've got it to the point where I'm not paying much interest, and it's mostly going to principal. So keep knocking it out. Alrighty. So that was that. And there's the red list from last night. Flip back to here. Just insane. And just blows my mind. $18 trillion. And that's just the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, right? I mean, just crazy. So wasn't much to see. So if you were super upset about not seeing the numbers, there you go. That's all I had. I look at that number, I'm just like, holy fudge muffins. So overnight action. Continue the retrace. And so was this 5 up yesterday? This might be for those of you that were here during 30 Minutes of Awesome, I was kind of speculating that was the bottom. That was wave 1. This might have been wave 2. Somewhere here, probably this one. Maybe the top of 3 right there. Or possibly this might be 4. I don't know. 4, maybe that was 4. This is where it gets really difficult when you're looking at it. Like, maybe that was 4, maybe this is 4. And 2, if this is the 2 over here, like if this junk right here is the 2, this was 5 up. So this is now wave 1. This is now a 2. Circle 1, circle 2. We need a bottom somewhere right around there, which is close to where we are. It's not going to be proportionally Fibonacci-wise the greatest number there. But, well, get the retrace. Could be just a shallow 2. Just a shallow 2 right in the vicinity of the other. See, that 4 doesn't, this being deep messes with this. Maybe that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 5. I don't know. Difficult. This is where it starts being muddy, less clear. So at this point, you look for possibly a retrace, and this 2 bottoming in the vicinity of that 2 makes it not awesome. So maybe this is just a shallow retrace, and we get continuation. That low, that high. Now, what's the thing to watch out for? Right? Where do we know we're wrong? That gets difficult right here. But if we get on the bottom side of the roadmap line, it's kind of simple, but kind of difficult. If we get on the bottom side of this on the 15-minute, why 15-minute? Because it's relatively clear right here. We've been respecting the roadmap line, back testing the roadmap line. So if we get below it, this can develop into that wasn't the reversal. And we may be heading on down. The problem here, this is going to get real muddy, all right? Just bear with me a minute, because this is going to get really kind of mucky for anybody that's not well versed in this. Here's the problem I see. This potentially could be an A wave down. This could potentially be the B wave up. And we could be looking at a C wave down. It's always like, where are you wrong? Like, got to play this game all the time. That retrace, so far, this one right here, hit that 50% retrace. From this high to this low. Stopped right there. Now the 618, just above it, that's a more classic B wave top. So that's still resistance. Still got to get above that to go higher. Could still turn down and go down here. This I don't usually do this in the public. I usually just sit here in my little quiet zone and do this by myself, but figured I'd do it live because it seems that people are enjoying this content based on the feedback I'm getting. If you are, if you aren't, let me know in the chat or just in the comments below. So at this point, we have when to use the 2-point tool, when to use the 3-point tool, right? Let's clear a few things off. Just clear it up and talk about it. Now, if we're looking for continuation, all right, we've got the 5 wave down. We've got this potential for this to be an A, B, C. Had the 50% retrace right there. Right there. So if we're looking for the third move, whether it be, maybe this is a 1-2, maybe this is an A, B, we're looking for the third move. All right. 3-point tool, the first move. That was the first move. There's the retrace. Could be as high as where I have the alert up here. That'd be the 618. Right now, we just have the 50% retrace. If we were going to get continuation and a very, very common corrective move where A equals C, that comes in right there at that 100%. All right, that's the 3-point tool. Point number 1, point number 2, and point number 3. 3 points, 3 clicks. Point number 1, point number 2, point number 3 at that high. Now, how do you know if it goes up to the 618? Where will we adjust the numbers to? You just pull it up right there on the third point. That adjusts the numbers. All right. Why would I not just use the 2-point tool to get an extension? That right there doesn't mean anything. B wave to C wave doesn't, like, that's not That's not really a, while we could potentially just make a nominal lower low, that's not the classic proportion in this big move. All right. It's just not the classic proportion. Like that could be support, that could be where we turn, just not the classic thing. All right. Now, when we bottomed here and we were still in the trend and we topped out here, using the 2-point tool here, between those 2 points, that did get us that. But now that I'm looking at a bigger trend, from all the way at the beginning of the trend over here, trying to compare this whole big first move to what might be the finality move, we have to use the 3-point tool to compare a prior trend move to the current trend move. And that's why it's called a trend-based fib extension tool. Trend is down. We're looking for continuation. It's easy enough to do it this way too. Grab a line tool, bring it over, snap it on right there. Oh, look. The lines work out exactly like the fibs right there. Now, what the line tool doesn't get you is the 1272 extension or the 1618 extension. And if we're going to break down and go lower, if this is the C wave, if this is an A, B, C, we'll probably bottom here. Here's where it tells you more information. If this is a 1, 2, 3, we'll probably get down to this 56 zone down here. And that opens the door for further downside. I'm not all rosy and happy about the corrective nature of everything. So this is the 0 point. This is either an A or a 1. This is either a B or a 2. This would be the C, and this would be the 3. This level here, and this level here. Get that extension down, or get the continuation. Then if this is a 3, it opens the door for a 4 or 5. And then we've got the potential for a new trend, or possibly that's an A, a bigger A wave. And then we got a bigger B wave. It comes back up in the 618, 50%, 618. And then we get a bigger flush down possibly to the roadmap line. All right. It's not magic. It's just, there you go. And today could be an A of a B. We get a 618 retrace and we get a C. It's entirely possible. But with the height of what we've done today, more likely that's all the move. Possible that's all the move. And we get the continuation lower. So those are the things to watch out for, okay? There's not, the roadmap line is the only real level in here of support. We don't have a lot of support levels to suggest we might do that to a higher level. We just made one big rip off the low. That's now getting into the finer points of Elliott Wave, the things that Elliott Wave ticians argue in the background. That's more like a what do you call it? The WXY or WXY move. Yeah, this one. It's more like a W right here. One fast move for an X, and then a 5-way flush for a Y. We don't tend to be able to count the waves very cleanly in an X wave. That's kind of what we got right there. That's why I'm cautious about this. I just call them ABCs because it's easier that way, but this looks more like it might be a W. We typically get 3 or 5 waves in a W. Not really anything we can count in an X. And then Y waves will be 5 waves. So just to add a little extra alphabet soup on top of everything. So what's the bottom line? It's not clear at the moment. You need to watch very carefully what develops here today. The levels, as always, are the 50% in the 618 to get confirmation we're going on down. So that would be, we're already pushing below the roadmap line. So if we get below, if we don't just turn and burn here, that's the next level of support. We get below that, probably coming on down. And that can develop into the bigger down on over here. We may get some intermediate bounces at these places. We bounce up. Come on down. All right. So it does get really confusing to get in the weeds. And that's why I try to keep it simple on the morning show. But right now, it's not clear. All right. Like, where's the clear path? JT, what are we doing for the next week, next month, for the next? We may just chop it around for the next couple weeks. Through, this week, we only got a few days left. NVIDIA earnings coming up tonight. That's the big dog. The last one we've got left hanging out here. The last big set of earnings for this cycle. That right there, I'm going to buy. I'm going to buy an NVDS call. Just for giggles. $100. We'll see. I may lose my money. This could pop. This is looking bearish, and it could drop. Why NVDS? Yeah. NVDS. Right there. It's a leveraged short on NVIDIA. Does have a reverse split. Super dangerous. It is leveraged. Be careful. Buying a $100 call. You can't buy $100 calls or $100 puts on NVIDIA. Why not do a debit spread or credit spread or whatever spread? Let's keep it simple. Buying a call, $100 on the line, may lose it all, but the potential, even with a lower high, pretty nice. This is probably going to, you'll get 1 or 2 days to get out, probably. And then this is probably going lower. Now, the flip side is that all of a sudden, the ship implodes on NVIDIA, and this goes. That'd be crazy, but I don't think it's going to happen. So, I would expect support right there, and then choppy, probably for a while, if this is going to break down and do the bigger retrace. I only bought out to, I think about December. All right. There you go. It's possible we don't have a holiday rally. It's possible every year. It's possible the market tops out into January. I mean, it's possible. Anything's possible. Talking about high probability. We're churning for the next 2 weeks. I'm just talking about the next 2 weeks on the ES. That wasn't even going out very far. Just next 2 weeks. I don't think we're committing much to anything for 2 weeks. Could it develop into a bigger flush? Absolutely. See those levels? They aren't that far down and aren't that far away from the roadmap line right there. But look over here. Let's look at the other things. Look at some of our other indicators. S5TW. Hanging on the middle. All right, that stock's above the 20-day moving average. It's a fast mover. What is that suggesting? We tend to oscillate between the top and the bottom. We're just hanging in the middle. We've been hanging kind of in the middle for all of November. We were down here. That suggested, look, I mean, this suggested right here, hanging out here right before the election, no matter what, no matter who won, we were going to pop. We held the downtrend highs. Might come back down. Might reverse it here and break through and go make a higher high. Might. So not clear on this chart what we might do. We still haven't taken back the entire election bump on stocks above the 20-day. Moving up a time frame, stocks above the 50-day. S&P 500 stocks, if you've never seen these before, like, how do you trade these? You don't. These are indexes. S5FI, Sierra 5, Foxtrot, India. Just type it in, right in TradingView. This one, these don't only update end of day. If you want live ones, I think barchart.com has live ones. I mean, you can't trade it, so it's like, just, I only check in on it once a day or so, usually just during the morning show. I have alerts set if it breaks the top or the bottom. So we're kind of hanging, again, here, right near, this one we did take the election bump back. That's interesting that the stocks above the 20-day, stocks above the 50-day, not quite the same story. Now, breaking down below the trend line, that can result in a bigger down, and we could go reset the chart. So there's one for the caution column, a big caution. If the next day or so we are to get below this, that may indicate that we're about to do a bigger flush. I tend to be pros and cons. Like what are for the going up? What are for the going down? I kind of look through these things, kind of tally it in my brain, and then that kind of gives me what I expect. S5TH. This is a curious one too. We bottomed out back here. October, we did make our highest high right up here in April, and we just kind of been churning. We attempted to break out, we've attempted to break down, and we just keep churning. And this is, for those that say, this looks a lot like 2021, a lot of things do, but this part doesn't. All right, the participation in the market doesn't. Here's what we did in 2021. Right there, that arrow is where where the market topped. Significantly down from the participation rate topping early in the year in 2021. So we had a lot of participation. Then as we topped out in the market, we got lower and lower participation. We even saw a dip down to roughly the 50%. This is S&P 500 stocks above their 200-day moving average. So right now we're seeing just a mild participation. About 70% of S&P 500 stocks are above their 200-day moving average. We haven't really topped it out. We haven't gotten an extreme move. I kind of expect this to get an extreme move up to the 90+ area before we embark on the bigger down. Just kind of what I expect based on the history of this thing. Before we get the big moves down, we tend to make a big pop up, and then we start on the journey to the bottom. Make our big up, and then we start the journey to the bottom. Then we work on going back up to make up top. So it's just a big market oscillator. Can we stop short? Sure. Entirely possible. Now, what this does, though, what this looks a lot more like when I stop and kind of think about it. See that? The way this is chopping right there. Looky here. You know what that was? That's what kind of gets me a little bit nervous. So if we go up, get the Santa bump, take this up here, could be setting up for a swift correction. All right. There you go. NASDAQ in Q is the NASDAQ futures. And pushing down. If that's a little correction, we're pushing the extremes on it. This is starting to look like 76, 1, 2. Yeah, this is starting to look a little more impulsive here with the proportions. If we do a 5-wave down, if this extends down, it just pulls everything down further. That one went a little deep. If it starts being impulsive, probably get a 3-wave up and then a bigger down. Caution here. I don't look at RSI. Don't even give a flying flip about it. And doesn't mean jack squat to me. Barely a retrace. That could get continuation lower. This just, Russell's just really not very clear. Now there is an indicator that I do watch occasionally. I don't even keep it on the chart anymore. This one right here. It's called the Awesome Oscillator right here. This is a special MACD. Now, when you're looking at Elliott wave moves, calculate. So if you have the correct time frame up, the last move of a trend, the wave 3 will be the strongest on the way down, and the wave 5 will be create a divergence on this thing. This is a special MACD. You can see that wave, that was probably wave 3. It was the biggest on the AO. Awesome Oscillator was developed for trying to track Elliott wave. That right there. A lot of Elliott wave titians, you just use MACD. This is a special MACD. Divergence right there. That was the end of that trend. Or at least it indicated. That was a strong reversal. It kind of topped out right there. That's why kind of jives with what I thought on the wave 3. I've looked at this enough that I kind of can see this before looking at the AO. I don't keep it on because I don't need it. Then that petered it out, and we got that right there, that created divergence. The move petered out. Now we're getting a retrace. And break it down pretty swiftly here. There you go. Yet another piece. And you want to know more about using the AO? Join my Termar Trading Lab. Talk about it. Oil. Still being very interesting to me. Non-committal. I was kind of speculating this, that we may see this kind of drift on in here where we make a lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, higher low. Just, we may do that into the end of the year. GC, Nice reversal. Let's get continuation. Let's break through this zone and get the bigger up. Go test that. Break through. Keep going. How high? Target's 29. 2,900 right now. Got to get continuation. There's the resistance, 2,700. You're like, well, how do I trade it? GLD. How do I know what GLD is? Just divide this by 10 and, you know, plus or minus the extra little digits that it's not exactly perfect. Bitcoin, trying to break on higher. I mean, 100,000, that's the goal. 150, 170. Talked about this pretty ad nauseum lately. I'm not trying to hype everybody up. Every time in the past, we've hit the 1618. Every halving. If you're on the non-log mode, it's 102,000. If you're on log mode, which log mode fits with all the prior halvings, 170. Every halving in the past has extended to the 1618. Does it have to? No. Can we stop at 100? Yep. Absolutely. Ethereum still being bearish. This one might go hit the roadmap line. Roadmap line. If you need the roadmap line, links in the description, or you can go to my homepage. You know, click my logo underneath me here. Go to the homepage for YouTube, my channel page. The video I have pinned to the channel is the system, the market roadmap system. If we bounce here, I expect a small extension, and then another retrace, another small extension. If we do a bigger flush to a lower low, that could open the door for a bigger reaction. We'll see. Dollar still churning in the resistance. That looks kind of like an echo right there. This retrace, little light, didn't quite do as big a move. Dollar rallying, market dropping, classic correlation. But over here, dollar rallied and the market rallied. So correlated when they're correlated, not when they're not. NKD, global liquidity indicator, being soft, not seeing much committal from anybody doing anything. All right, I go to the market, pull everything moving up, $2 or more, down $2 or more, put the ups on the gainers list, the downs on the decliners list down here, and we go look for some opportunities. Those were in the pre-market, and they may or may not hold. So right here. Back to why would I not just try to chart the little minute? I got sick of just trying to pick little targets, all right? At some point, when you expect a big move like we do on Bitcoin, I'm looking for a big move. That retrace, that pop, that retrace, that pop can put us right up in here. All right, there's two different 3-point tools going on right here. That one goes from the low over here, that high, that retrace, that next potential high. Why that one? Why not that one? Now, the other one, this one that has the 1618, it's this low right here from 2020, this high right here from 2021, projected off this low right here. 3 points. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 1618. We found resistance at the 1. Churn. We popped, and we're not even stopping at the 1272. Puts the target right there. Could we run out of steam in between? Yep. Possible. At some point, do you want to be an analyst? Do you want to be a trader? WSM, Williams-Sonoma, boom, look at that. Didn't even give you a chance to get in again. That retrace concluded, and then popping 182 upside target right there. Sometimes when they get super excited, just to rewind a second, your opportunity to get in was back here, or back here. Now, if you're not in it, where do you add? Where do you anything? I wouldn't do anything but try to find profit. If you're happy here, GTFO. You're happy here, GTFO. You're happy here, GTFO. No FOMO. All right. Have an exit plan. Stick to it. Don't be like, I think it'll go a little higher. No, if your exit plan's 1,000, stick to it. All right. If we come up shy and we prove we're going down, have your level, have your retrace. I'm getting out because we can easily come all the way back down. All right. Thanks, Ed. I appreciate you being a channel member. It's MSTU. See how right I am. MSTX. See how right I am. Keeps going. Golly, look at that. For those of you that got in back here, congratulations. I got it. You know, I bought the majority of my position here the other day in the 90s, right there. I'm still up basically 100% on shares. Absolutely ridiculous. I sold a $120 put yesterday in one of the accounts. Just one. For December. $120 put. Brought in like $3,000. That was crazy. Tied up like $8,000. Tie up $8,000 to make $3,000. I mean, that's like a 45% return on the money you're tying up. Nuts. Am I gonna close it early? Probably not. Probably just ride it. I was looking at, you know, can you buy the shares? Well, yesterday I was already at 140, so you couldn't buy. It was gonna cost $14,000 to buy 100 shares. I could sell that put and tie up $8,000 of cash because the credit was ridiculous, $30. So 120 put, you know, I guess 90, you know, 9,000, but the broker was only gonna take 8,000 out of the cash. So however that works. Absolutely amazing. But that's rocking and rolling, like the target on up here. If you didn't get in it, no FOMO. Don't buy it now. Don't do it. Now's not the time to do it. If you do it now, you're probably going to lose money. Wix. Boom. Targets. No trade. Watch for the retrace. Argex. That's pharmaceutical biotech. Not my favorite stuff. It hit the target. Retracing. We may get a retrace to the roadmap line. RH. Trying to work through a breakout, but it's also just in a giant sideways consolidation. Just nasty. Yeah. I wouldn't touch it with your money. Not touching it with my money. Keysight Technology. These guys make stuff like oscilloscopes and stuff like that, like analysis tools for making electronics. And that looks like a bad chart. Could break out, but that's not the kind of chart that looks like we're going higher. That looks like we may turn down and go lower. Be careful. App. I got nothing. I mean, it's just straight up like this. How straight up can it go? Who knows? Up there. I don't like. Why don't you use fib tools? So that was the IPO. We don't have any. We don't know what it did over here. It was private. Chart wasn't public. Now, 95% of stuff that has IPO, usually we get that little dinosaur when it's an IPO, starts out corrective. 1, 2, 3, that was corrective. Lower low. Once you get the low, that's the starting point. You don't start over here and start doing fibs and all that junk, all right? This was not a pullback from whatever move this was. Like, this was not a pullback on that right here. This move right here. Using that fib tool to run from here to here to project anything here is pointless. Like, that move doesn't mean anything for this move. Because you don't know if this started higher. Like, what if the move was like this? You don't know. We don't know. We don't have the data. Like, we don't know what, was the chart doing this? And that's a pullback. I don't know. Was this part of a bigger pullback? And we're about to hit a 618. I don't know. You don't have this up here. You don't have this, you don't have any of this information. So all you have to work off of is this low. Lowest low. Anything to the left of it doesn't mean crap. Now you could, maybe you get lucky, you draw a fib line on here. You're like, oh, I'm going for that $500 area, and that's where it stops. But see, already, look, didn't respect that, didn't respect that. Maybe it's showing that those fib lines don't mean anything. Because they don't. All right. AVAV, retracing the roadmap line, possible bounce, get back about the 217, could go to 244, 251. UNH, probably gunning back for the roadmap line. Coinbase, come on, looking for 427 next upside. Right there, and then that is a prior extension. This orange zone is kind of like, see, again, this move probably doesn't mean anything right here, but it could. Now, what does mean something, though, is these moves up off the lows, these 1-2-1-2s. There's the fib line for the 272 right there off that first move. Second move. Same vicinity. Third move. Starts pushing it a little higher. Getting a little bit, that next 272 right up in there. Possibly up to that 2618 up there. So we'll see. Got the 1618 of that move right there. We're talking about this low, this high, this low. So I'm looking for that pop up in the 500 area. That may be it. We could go on up to 700-800, but we'll see. We'll see. Didn't retrace it. Glad we didn't retrace it again. Didn't want to sit through that again. Smallest little retrace right here, that high, that low. We're topping out 1272 or 1618, excuse me, at 420. So next level right there. Then maybe we can get on up. We'll see. SRPT. Pharmaceutical. Get a bigger retrace. 1, 2, 3. Nasty. Oh, that was the lowest low right there. Missed it. Lowest low. That move up. Retrace. Try to find support right in here. GE Veranova. Eventually we're going to retrace. Not today. GLBE. That's essentially a three-wave move up so far. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We may top out. This could top out in the same place we topped before. and turn down and make a lower low. Just nasty, choppy, overlapping. What makes it overlapping? See this high, this low. They overlap. Not a trend so far. CRM. Looks like that one's going for it. Beautiful. If anybody got in back here, let me know. It's a beautiful move. Well, thanks, Ed. BTCT. Watch for... this one's going to come back down. Like, this is the nutsy move. We're going to do a consolidation, and then we're probably going to bring it back down. VST. Don't FOMO into things, all right? When you're like, I got to get a piece. You see something move, and you didn't expect it to be moving. Don't go buy it, because you're going to buy near the top, all right? More than likely. It's more likely these people are going to get ripped than these people. How'd you know it was going to pop? I wouldn't have touched that. This right here, probably going to consolidate. You want to do something? Short sell it. Probably hard to borrow. Probably come back to $1. BST is at target. It's probably going to retrace. Boyle. Maybe. This is a very declining asset. The cost to maintain the ultra leverage on gas, natural gas, it eats the living daylights out of this thing. Just due to the nature of the natural gas futures and the fact that they don't really move much. Same, like almost the same principle why VXX has the same sort of look to it. And why UVXY, Ultra, VIX has that same kind of look to it. That's why oil, leveraged long natural gas, has that same kind of look to it. SMLR, just churning. Potentially hit a resistance, maybe up to 76, but that can do a deep retrace. Medical specialty on the caution list. BTCL, 2x leverage on Bitcoin. This one may pop off if we're going to go higher on Bitcoin. Just do the percentage. How high do you expect Bitcoin to go? Do the percentage. Come over here, 2x based on a percentage. Use this tool right here, the date and price range tool. Come on here, do your percent. Multiply by 2. Like if you expect 50% higher on Bitcoin, go from 90,000 to 150,000. 50% higher. This might move 100%. I'd be a little conservative, maybe go to 85. Could expect this to go from 50 to possibly 100. That's how you play with leverage. Don't trade options on leverage. Period. Funnel. If coin can break on higher, we may go up to this 109, 134 area. I was a heavy buyer for Connell back here and back here. I would be very cautious buying here. The upside now is limited on leverage. Just play, you can play coin. If it's too rich for you, just skip it. Zoom is at the target. Dell is at resistance. Be careful. If this breaks back below the roadmap line, we can go down here. If we can pop above this resistance zone, we can go cruising up here. That's an interesting one. And right there, SPY breaking out to the downside. Lemonade at targets. Be careful. Again, That's the lowest low. That's what you got to work off of. These two lows. We didn't break down and go further. Kind of made a double bottom. We don't have a lot to work off the lows, so doesn't give us a lot to work with. That move up, that retrace, possibly stop at 56, maybe 95. Need more of a retrace to really project higher. And potential to breakouts, 71. Brooker. Potential this bottomed out. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. We're going to have to get back above the roadmap line. This can just keep extending, though. Could be that we need further extension lower. Flex. Looks like extensions to me. 1618 may get a retrace. And BitU, another Bitcoin Ultra, same deal. If you expect 50% higher on Bitcoin, 150,000, possibly get 100%. You know, let's go conservative, 85%. So maybe go from 50 to 100. Almost same exact numbers as BitCL, BitX. We can kind of do, you know, this one also has 2x, so potential for this one to rally from here, maybe up not 85%. Oh, look, there's where the target JT Drew is, right there. 100. It's not magic. It's just math. VRT, retrace, bounce, potential 154. Then watch out for the retrace. MSTY is freaking hot. It's so dangerous. Do not trade this. That's my warning. If you don't understand what they're doing to make that income, do not trade it. ARKB, that's just Bitcoin. INOD. Yeah, coming up at resistance. Watch for a retrace. NTRA. Breaking out. Clear the chart. Draw that back on there. That's the breakout. Here was the retrace. This high, where was it? Right there. This low right there. We're coming up into the 1448. That 1272 is the target right there. And then 345 above that. All right, decliners, Powell getting whacked. Probably coming down to the roadmap line. Target. Oh, sorry. When we couldn't break above that, that opened the door to going lower. Three-point tool. 0.1, 0.2. I was hopeful we would go higher, but there's... So we can bottom in this vicinity right here. And turn higher. Break back above the roadmap line. That may be done. Ew. I would not mess with that right now, though. Probably it could churn in here for a little while. FN. I was hopeful it was going to break higher, but nope. Did not trade it. Wow. Came up shy of the target. Target's still up there, 280, 290. DXYZ. This is probably coming back down. Cold. Ultra short. Now, this may be the better way to play natural gas. If you want to play natural gas long for the breakout, this dropping may be the way to go. Puts on this baby, if you can afford it. I'm not saying it's affordable. I'm not saying you should. All trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation intended to be informational, educational, fun, entertaining, not a recommendation to be buying stocks, options, bonds, forex, futures, cryptos, treasuries, any kind of leverage. Don't trade them. If you desire personal financial advice, you want somebody to tell you what to do, hire a consult financial advisor. NAMs. Right there. Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't mess with it. It's pharmaceutical. Roku. I may do the target thing. Watch out. That's the same setup target had. Right there. First move down, retrace. Second move down could take us right here to 36. How long? I don't know. Could be short, could be fast, could be a year. 5 corrections are harder to trade than positive moves. 5 looks like we may drop out. If we break out above the roadmap line, we can go up here. If we don't, we can extend it down lower, possibly down to 39. TJ Maxx. Probably coming back to the roadmap line. SMCX. Whew. 2x long on SMCI that's likely to go bust. If they get delisted, you're screwed. I wouldn't touch any of that stuff right now. If you're in any shorts on SMCI, I highly recommend you get out before they get delisted. If you get delisted, you're stuck. Like, you can't do anything. There's no, you just have to wait. I've been there before. I've sat through something that got delisted for 9 months. It came back on the market like the week before my options expired. I was lucky. I get lucky. Sometimes I get lucky. COHR, probably coming back to the roadmap line. QDEL, probably going down. DG, probably continuing on down. That's the lowest low. Where are we going from here? I don't know. Further down is what that looks like. We got a long way to go. We could retrace the whole thing, take it negative, make a lower low. Arm. If you haven't been here before, that was kind of where I expected us to top out, find resistance, and turn down. We're at the roadmap line, pushing through it. If we get below it with any kind of enthusiasm, we're probably going to flush back down to this level at least. Maybe go lower low. This was lower than the IPO. This move up, not necessarily the most bullish price action I've ever seen. Kind of looks a little choppy. We may flush it down, make a lower low. That's the low on ARM. Again, we don't have all this over here to work with off this IPO, so be careful. Bum, 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 bum. Would you rather me do this for entertainment, or would you rather me go be a financial advisor and then you have to pay me on the back? I enjoy coming on here and doing this for fun, being an entertainer, talking about financial stuff. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you get to ride along. Oh, looky here. Bias for the day. I had no bonus trades because the system didn't pump any out. So, look at that. I'll be dang. Might be going lower. That probably coming. I'm starting to give it odds. We're coming down here. Maybe coming down there. There you go. Thanks for spending time with me this morning. I'll be back live again 9:15 tomorrow morning. Same bad time, same bad channel. If you want to support me and my family, be a channel member. Links in the description for buying the market roadmap, or you can come buy some more in-depth stuff for Termite Trading Labs, where I have even more stuff. Hey, Grace, Charlie Grace, good to see you. Helen, and made it just for the wrap up, Charlie. Charlie Red. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. Be safe out there. The account you save may be your own. Hopefully we get the Bitcoin ride to 150, 170. We'll see. If not, we tried. Have a great day.